So we had some big news drop in the media world the other day that I wanted to share with you guys. Ken Klippenstein, friend of the show and journalist at The Intercept, apparently he is no longer a journalist at The Intercept. He decided he was going to resign, and he resigned in dramatic fashion because on the way out the door, he put everybody on blast, bro. He was like, look, whatever you guys think The Intercept is or what it was, it is no longer that, man. And he was careful, to be fair, he was careful to say there's still some people there that are doing phenomenal work and they actually believe in the original cause of The Intercept, doing real journalism, speaking truth to power. There's people like Ryan Grimm and Jeremy Scahill. They're phenomenal. They do the right thing. But let's not kid ourselves about the management at The Intercept, the suits at The Intercept, the moneyed interest at The Intercept. So for those of you who don't know, Pierre Omidyar is a billionaire and he founded The Intercept along with Glenn Greenwald and who else was with the founding? I'm sort of blanking on it now. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's neither here nor there. Glenn had a falling out with The Intercept a while ago. Now Ken Klippenstein is on the way out the door. And we're not going to go through the whole article. I highly recommend you go read the entire thing if you want to know his full perspective. It's definitely a really interesting read. I went through the whole thing, and it was fascinating. But the gist of it is this. For a while now, Ken has felt like The Intercept doesn't really give a fuck about journalism, doesn't really give a fuck about speaking truth to power, that you have a bunch of management goons, a bunch of suits, a bunch of moneyed interests at the top of The Intercept now. And those moneyed interests are more concerned about not getting sued and not questioning the powerful. They're more concerned about that than they are about actually doing the news. So he cites a few specific examples of like a direct article calling out some issue with Amazon and Jeff Bezos and some fucked up thing that he did. And basically, Klippenstein's higher-ups tried to say, no, you can't run that article. And they're like, why? And then they give some bullshit reason about why they can't run the article. Okay. There was another one of they were going to publish a list of the people at the Bohemian Grove. Oh my God, Alex Jones would have nutted in his pants. Like a list of all the elite goons who like run the country. Like, hey, we're going to publish the list. And for some reason, management steps in. You can't do that. Now, Ken points out, The Intercept had been sued for something in the past or whatever, and that made them like skittish on actually doing journalism anymore. But then there's another angle, which is now they're just trying to make a buck, right? They're just trying to turn a profit. And you have all these people who don't give a shit about journalism, don't know about journalism, who are above the journalists and the editors, and they're basically killing stories that they don't like for whatever reason. He goes on to point out, well, a lot of the fundraising that these people do, it's from the interests that directly conflict with who Ken and everybody else is trying to expose. Like doing hard-hitting journalism on moneyed interest, but if the new management is sucking up to moneyed interest to try to get more money to fund The Intercept, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So he's like, look, they lost their way. They lost their way. They're not doing real journalism. They don't want to do real journalism. They wouldn't know it if it hit him in the fucking head. And so Ken had brought in this editor to, go over his stuff. And this guy is a real truth teller. And they tried to stop both Ken and this guy from putting out a whole bunch of stories. And Ken's like, all right, you know what? I'm out of this bitch. So go read the entire thing. He absolutely torches The Intercept on the way out. I know that there are some, I think Jeremy and Ryan from The Intercept are trying to purchase The Intercept from these people who came in and are ruining it, right? Will they actually be able to? I don't know. But clearly, everybody's kind of looking for the exits now in terms of people who do real work. And it's a shame because they have done some phenomenal work. What's that guy, Prem Thacker or something like that? He's done some great work. Ken's done phenomenal work. There's a bunch of them that have done great work, but all the people who do the real work, they're getting squeezed more and more by the day, and there's more roadblocks put in front of them every single day, and they're getting legitimate stories pulled because the people above them are saying, hey, we're going to pull that. It's a real warning shot, man. When you see, this is a classic example of something that wasn't supposed to be corporate, which now has slowly but surely over time become corporate, and this is the result. They get in the way of the people who do the real work, right? They get in the way of the people who are actually doing the job right. And so always beware, the corporatization of media is a horrible thing. Hey, you guys know, man, not to toot my own horn here, but you guys know this is why I've never had a conversation with an advertiser. I've never made a deal with an advertiser. Hey, I'll promote your product. You give me X amount of money, this and that. Because once you open that door, well, now it's like I'm just a salesman. I'm just a spokesman for some fucking company because that's how my bread is buttered and that's how I'm paid. I don't want it to be like that. So I don't do it like that. what we do is have the default ads that run on YouTube. But again, I've never talked to an advertiser. You have a whole team over at Google or YouTube that does whatever, and then they automatically run the ads. I don't even know what ads are fucking running. That I'm totally fine with. I see no ethical conundrum there. But the most important thing is you guys help fund the show from the ground up. This is what you do on Patreon. If you pay $2 a month or $5 a month or $7 a month, that keeps the show going. That keeps it going. Or you tip on YouTube with the thanks button below. This is the only ethical way, insofar as I could tell, to do a good job, right? It's because I'm beholden to you guys. That's it. And now Ken is effectively trying to do the same thing. Of course, he has his Substack, and now he's trying to grow it because he's basically going out on his own. He's hiring that editor who was with him, who's also good. So go read the article. Go hook a brother up, because he's doing a good job. And now he's going to be even more unchained than before, which is something to look forward to. All right, guys. That's the show. Love y'all very much. Everybody subscribe to the channel. Hook a brother up. I deeply, deeply appreciate that. And this week we have Zed Jelani on Crystal Kyle and Friends. I'm really interested in talking to Zed, because Zed, for a long time, I follow him on Twitter, and he would be saying some things that are sort of like flirting with the right, shitting on the left, maybe a little too much, where it's like, he's having a real transformation. But homie turned on a dime over what happened with Israel. He realized, hey, all these people I was cuddling up to on the right, turns out I don't agree with them, actually. And it turns out I don't like them. And so he's been going inski. He just went on Brianna Joy Gray's show, and they were talking about Matt Taibbi and the sort of evolution of Matt Taibbi, and how now he kind of only attacks the Democrats and only attacks the broader left, and he sort of hands off the right. And so there's an interesting dynamic, like the post-left dynamic, that I'm interested in hearing Zed Jelani talk about, because he almost went the other direction. He's like a post-right dynamic. He's like, fuck these guys, I'm going back home on the actual left. So anyway, definitely check that out. Crystal Kyle and Friends, links below if you want to sign up over there. I love y'all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.